Welcome back to the Maverick Arena, where for the final time this evening we're going to get into another potentially epic matchup. Real drama, as this place is still buzzing from that Darko Jogic victory there, with all sorts of things to talk about. Earlier on, it was Hina Hayata, a day after her birthday, celebrating with a victory in a straight games one against Bruna Takahashi. Before that, amazing encounter as Jogic overcame Hiroto Shinozuka. As I said, we've got something special for you to wrap things up here. It's Lin Shidong and KUAI Man up against GARDOS and POLCANOVA in mixed doubles action, and it's on its way.
From Austria, please welcome Robert GARDOS and Sofia POLCANOVA. And their opponents from China, the world #1, Lin Shidong and KUAI Man.
And here they come, a familiar sight. Of course, we saw them in action at the previous Grand Smash in Singapore earlier on this year, and they were stunning. These two, well, risen stars, I think we'd have to say now, of Chinese table tennis and world table tennis going at it here. It's, of course, the best of 5 games. And for their opponents, well, they'll turn to their experience and hope that that sees them through. The pairing of POLCANOVA and GARDOS, they know their way around doubles play for sure. And as you can see, the veteran of this group by some way there, Robert GARDOS at 46. Well, Adam's with me for this one, as he has been all evening long. He'll come in just a moment. David Gallego is the man in the chair for this one. Let's just listen into the toss, gather our thoughts, and go again.
Players, I have red and black. Black is red, you win. Which receive? Serve, side, decide. Who serves? POLCANOVA serves, receive, KUAI.
Okay, so that's all decided then. And now let's figure out what's going to happen in this one. Well, we have a good sense of what happens when KUAI Man and Lin Shidong come together as a doubles pair. Adam, I'd be interested to know a little bit more about the other pair that they come up against.
Well, they've done incredibly well in recent history. Sofia POLCANOVA, alongside Bernie Such at the World Championships, was incredible. Big medal there. So she's been incredibly strong close to the table. Sofia POLCANOVA, a left-handed player. Robbie GARDOS, at 46 years old, plays a very fast, aggressive game. His backhand is clutch. He had a match point against Zhang Jike at the 2014 World Championships, and his backhand was a crucial part of that. But his closeness to the table, his aggression was a big part of that. Now, it's been some time. That was 11 years ago. But he's out here for a reason. This is the round of 16 at a marquee event, a Grand Smash, so it's not an accident.
And let's have a little look as well at their opponents. Obviously, individually, we've seen plenty of them. They've played so many matches, so many high-pressure matches as well, Lin Shidong and KUAI Man. But let's look at them now as a unit, as a duo, and what they bring to one another.
Yeah, we'll have a chance to see. I love Lin Shidong, I love KUAI Man. I think they both have a wonderful sense of humor, easygoing personality. That said, Lin Shidong faced some criticism from the internet based on results last time he played with KUAI Man at a major event. So, hopefully here today he earns back the trust and the fanship, I guess, and a lot of money. $1.55 million up for grabs throughout these 5 events that are being played. 2,000 points to the champion of this event. Remember, everybody's racing to the finals. Hong Kong, China, the end of the year. With big events like this is actually the first year where we have ever had in WTT 4 Grand Smashes. It's been the idea since the inception, and now it's here. The first ever United States Smash. We're having our first Europe Smash in, what, late next month, middle next month? We're looking at the fan vote here, 85%. Behind the world number 1, Lin Shidong, and KUAI Man, the world number 5. The other 15 with the Austrian veterans out here. Cast your vote at worldtabletennis.com or on the WTT app, or whisper it to a friend and then have them vote, and then have them do the same for you and vote for them. That'll be a fun thing to do. Nice icebreaker.
Yeah, and then compare notes later. As
I
we
love
do.
it. Over dinner and a movie.
Here we go.
POLCANOVA, GARDOS versus LIN, KUAI. Field games, POLCANOVA to serve. Love all. Love 1.
Okay, what are we looking for? Who's got weapons that can hurt this very high quality Chinese side? Because that side of the table, we know what they're about. We know how sharp they are, how grooved they are. Oh.
You know, in many sports, when you're out of position for a moment, there's just so much work to do to get back in. Table tennis is no different.
These two are just taking turns to pounce. Lin Shidong and KUAI Man.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of adjustments in the short game. Much better. Robbie Gardosh sets up a 4th ball attack for Sofia Polcanova, but it's never easy against the 2 on the other side. Quality of the shot you have is limited based on their quality.
They need to get themselves on the board, but that's easier said than done.
They're going to have to stay much closer to the table, which is also easier said than done. Robbie Gardosh, as fast as he is, near the table is going to be much more threatening. And so they get themselves on the board. Sofia Polcanova steps around both sides with the righty-lefty combo. And if you're just joining us, you're newer to table tennis. In doubles, you must alternate shots, and it's the only time where you have to serve on the diagonal. From the right side of the table, on the diagonal, players signal to each other to communicate cryptically with their hands on both sides. Serve and receive. And a nice clean opener here from a long forehand stroke. Sofia Polcanova, who's been through her injuries over the years.
Just going to ask you a little bit about KUAI Man in a moment, whether you've had a chance to assess her more immediate recent form.
2-6.
Okay, I'm still looking and assessing. Give me time.
Yeah, not right now, but over the last few matches, singles and otherwise, is she still on that upward trajectory?
I'm a realist and I'm an optimist. I call myself a realistic optimist. The answer for me is yes, no doubt about it. 21 years old is far from peak age. I think, what, China Smash last year, she was incredible. And that for me was one of the most shining performances, maybe the most that I've seen from her. So even if there's a little dip, if we zoom out between now and the next 2 years, there's no doubt for me she's on an upward trajectory.
Yeah, we saw the best of her in Singapore as well, didn't we? Just ran out of steam maybe at the final hurdle.
Right. Perfect serve there. Why'd you ask me that about KUAI Man?
Just with someone on commentary, and I can't remember who speaking recently, and they just thought she looked a little bit flatter than she had done last time we saw her in Grand Smash action.
It's completely possible. I'm hesitant. Yeah, you know me and criticizing, but
it's not necessarily criticism, maybe
you.
just assessment.
Yeah, you're right. I'll remember that next time I criticize someone. I'll say, just assessing you. Good times. No, 11-2 here, dominant performance. The truth is, yes, I've seen her play better. I think everybody's adjusting. The altitude, the fast table, it's a new environment, a new arena. There's a lot to sort of settle into here. And we'll see. The bright shining lights will only have 1 pair remaining after this, and there's only so much time to adjust, but a good start here from the upper seeds, or at least the Chinese pair, who lead 1-0 after winning 11-2.
So while I sidetracked you a little bit with that fascinating conversation about KUAI form, what we couldn't really overlook was the fact it was 11-2. And the two Chinese players did pretty good. So there's a lot of hard work for the Austrians to get up to.
I think it was also interesting hearing how much Xiao Zhan had to say to the Chinese pair. After an 11-2 victory, you might think it'd just be like, hey, high five, here's some water. That's it, nice work, peace, do the same thing, ditto, repeat. There was a lot more than that. Oh, what a rally, and the finisher right on top of the bounce. KUAI puts it to rest. Some good footwork there from Robbie Gardos.
Only problem was they were both out of the picture.
Not so bad, he says. All right. Oh, on the back edge there to the net ball. I still like the face of Robbie Gardos. Perfect to pull it out in Vegas.
Yes. He's in great shape.
He's here with family. Alejandro here. One of the best Pokemon card collections of anybody I've seen.
They are so solid, the Chinese pair.
And a forehand flick takes a bite out of the net, but coming across, it all pays off. Fast feet, KUAI. I love it. One of the most difficult shots in the game. And look how open she comes into that ball. Racket facing the ceiling at first, and then just sort of closes on it for a little bit of topspin.
That's the talent that KUAI has. I mean, she had no kind of balance. She's on the move. As you said, it's one of those low percentage shots, maybe, or lower percentage, and she executed.
The word talent is a very interesting word. I will say that the amount of work put into coming up to this level. Many of these players, you can watch interviews of Wang Chuqin when he was young, just trying to stay out of trouble. His parents trying to get him healthy anyway. And by out of trouble, I mean medically.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do in life, that you can reverse all these things. Ask David Goggins his story.
Oh, yeah.
2-8.
Yeah, but she's got something, you know, there's been a lot of hard work done, but what I like about her is there's just this natural flair to her. Oh.
3-8.
That's a pretty clear sign language message for play smart. Sofia Polcanova was right there waiting for this ball this time around.
9-3.
Again, keeping those serves on the shorter side in Vegas is always crucial. The ball tends to drift. Can't tell you how many players have played the U.S. national championships here, and they have to come in a full day early just to practice their serves and making sure everything's a little tighter to the table.
10-3.
We're on the brink of another game here. 10-3, 7 game points. They've barely broken a sweat, really. Oh, and there you go. That'll be that, says Lin Shidong, who is in particularly dismissive form this evening.
So 5 points total for the Austrian pair here. We haven't seen much of the coach yet, but on paper, it sounds like it's one of the defensive legends of the game, Chen Weixing. 11-2, 11-3. The Chinese pair only needs one more.
Yeah.
There he is, Chen Weixing, with his shorts fully down. As a coach, it's understandable they would be.
All right, let's have a little look then at the rankings. And as far as mixed doubles in the ITTF's table tennis rankings, there they are. By some distance out there at #1, way ahead there of Wang Chuqin and Sun Yingsha in second place there. And just cast an easy eye down that list and you'll see a couple of names featuring here this week as well. Excellent performance by Robles and Xiao. earlier on as well. They always catch the eye in the way they play.
It's funny, I guess I must have blinked for a minute. Wang Chuqin and Xia, number 2 by that distance. I need to go back and do some looking. What happened? Hey fans, good to see you here. Nice butter. Is that a butterfly in your hat or a bow? I think it's a butterfly.
Yeah.
Could be a butterfly bow. Possibilities with fashion.
Meanwhile, back at the table, there's a huge mountain to climb for the Austrian pair. And quite frankly, it's hard to see this happening. Hard to make any kind of a dent on Lin Shidong and KUAI.
The world number 1 in front of Wang Chuqin and Sun Yingxia. It takes
by a distance as well.
Yeah, and think about how many shots it took to win a point. Chop block, big counter from behind the table. This backhand here, like it's practice. And right near the table, Polcanova puts it away.
Oh, again, some great play by Robbie Gardos, but that left it unguarded, and that's what happened.
I don't need to go too much into detail just because WTT's got an incredibly packed calendar. And with the 4 grand smashes, the mixed doubles, it's going to be big.
Oh, they are so formidable.
And a timeout now on the Austrian side after we just saw Masato Shiono attack from under the table from Lin Shidong like he was throwing a baseball. Very unusual. Check that reference if you want later.
One thing that really stood out from that last point there was the way that they just moved forward, the 2 Chinese players, at the right time. They just attacked the table in unison, a concerted effort. They're so good together. And you know what? You can see Sophia is just going to laugh a little bit here.
Ja, genau. Ich glaube, man wird vielleicht mehr fest als der Ball vielleicht. Okay, ein bisschen mehr fest. Ja, das ist okay. So leicht, sie kommen alle zu, egal wo. Ne?
Ja, aber wenn fest, der kommt noch schneller. Er kommt von hinten, von vorne.
So, auch unglaublich, dieses, okay, trotzdem, wir haben, okay. Und wenn er so spielt, okay, mehr, ne? Was können wir machen? Okay. Okay, weiter, komm mal. Probieren.
Well, the conversation, if I had to guess, if this were a theater game and I got to subtitle that, it'd be, in short, here's an idea. Yeah, we tried that. It didn't work. Well, what about this? Yeah, we tried that too. That didn't work. Okay.
I read the body language. There was a lot of sort of shaking of arms as if to say, yeah.
I don't know if that's going to work.
I don't know what we're going to do here.
Right.
But try they will.
So far, so good. They've won 100% of the points out of their timeout so far. 25 of the last 32 points. More than 75% for the Chinese pair, the world number 1.
Oh, nice from Polcanova there, as she can do.
So back to the theater exercise. If we had to guess what the conversation was, it might be take some chances, go for broke. Hit it wide, hit it hard on your opener. It's okay if you miss. And look, they're doing it. Fast, long push here every shot.
I'd have guessed at that. That seemed to be the message, didn't it? Why not? If you can't go for it now, when can you? And that's the problem. And that's the sort of thing that I think caused them to shrug their shoulders and say, this is going to be tough. The speed with which any ball is attacked.
Yeah, she's got a big target on the midsection. I mean, they've won a significant percentage of the points since the timeout. So yeah, from time to time, someone hits you perfectly in the elbow. Okay. Just keep spinning. The intention is clear. And that's good. You're going to miss some shots here and there, but if you start playing cautiously, you just are basically submitting.
That's really nice. Well, they're playing their best table tennis of the match by far right now.
Yeah, they've already
might be coming a bit late, but...
Well, they're still keeping score. Not too late. We've seen some massive comebacks before. The American pair of 18-year-olds came back from 0-2 down. And they've got way more experience, the Austrians.
We've seen 2 or 3 of those exchanges. I think they've all been won by the Chinese, but
it's so tough to hit through them. They're fast. Lin Shidong, one of the biggest shot makers. How many times have we seen him more than 10 feet behind the table just calmly spin it back with a ripping backhand deep?
oh.
1-1-1, just one time. That's just a guess. I have no idea. My German friends are going to message me on social media with exactly what he said, but you have to imagine it's something like that. Or Austrian friends for that. German-speaking friends, I should say.
Yeah. Well, you can understand the frustration.
It's tough when you're playing so well and it still doesn't finish the point.
Follow that line taken by Lin Shidong there.
And it clipped the net on the way over. You might also imagine there's some subtle fortune coming one way.
By the way, we got some match points here, 4 of them. It's happened in a hurry.
Wow.
Oh, what a way to win it.
It just seems fitting. There it is. I mean, they were dominant from the start. They had some fortune here and there. Lin Shidong says, sorry about the nets and edges. Well, it's all part of the game. I mean, they had it to win either way. A total of 11 points compared to the 33 on the other side. I mean, 3 times that of their opponents. Even when they were way back behind the table, the pressure that they kept on the Austrians was just enough to leave Chen Weixing smiling on the other side.
Well, if you're going to take any positives, to go from 2 to 3 to 6 points, the Austrians will take that. But these guys felt as if they were hardly ever really pushed. And when they were, Lin Shidong and KUAI Man demonstrated what makes them so special. So let's have a little look at who they play next. Next up, it's Teodoro and Takahashi. And, well, good luck, Teodoro and Takahashi.
You never know. The young pair. Actually, Teodoro's been quite strong in doubles, and with the short pips on the backhand of Julia Takahashi, yeah, it's going to be a tough battle against such a strong pair. And I'm sure the Chinese fans will be thrilled to see that both of these players so far have done well. But on the other half of the draw, should they make it all the way to the final, there is no shortage of strong pairs here. Japan has been good in mixed doubles since Tokyo Summer Games. I think that's what I was alluding to earlier in terms of the pressure on China to deliver in mixed doubles. At some of the biggest events, as this is the United States Smash, the mixed doubles has been a big question. Here's a look at the quarterfinals of the draw.
Yeah, so KUAI and Lin up against Takahashi and Teodoro, as we said. And then it's the Hong Kong pair of Du and Wang up against Chitale and Xia, who did so well